Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we're going to be checking out the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Bug Zapper Glow Baxter Stockman action figure from the folks over at Super7. That is right, it's my first figure that I'm taking a look at in the new Super7 line of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures, and this glow-in-the-dark blue Bug Zapper Baxter Stockman was actually their San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. So let's go ahead and jump right in and take a look at it. So, the packages on their Ultimate figures have been really amazing. Recently we got to see what they did with Conan and Toxic Crusaders, and now we're getting a look at what they've got coming at us with their new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line. These boxes are amazing. They definitely feel very deluxe, very collector driven, and since this particular figure is a glow-in-the-dark version, we even have glow-in-the-dark packaging here. This little burst around the Turtles logo on the back, and the burst around the sewer lid on the front with Baxter's face has glow-in-the-dark paint on there, so we actually have some glow-in-the-dark effects on the box itself. Now this is a nice little slipcover, so we can slide this up, and that should reveal our very nice window box here, fully showcasing our brand new Baxter Stockman action figure on the inside. This thing is amazing, and seriously, this is really, really cool packaging. Man, we've even got that glow-in-the-dark, like around the edges here. How cool is that? So amazing collector packages. I think any of you that like to keep your stuff mint on card will be very happy with these because these boxes are really, really nice, really good quality. As somebody who likes to throw their boxes away, it's always difficult when they're this cool. So really nice packaging, but we're going to tear this open because I am ready to check out this amazing looking Baxter Stockman action figure on the inside. So let's do it. All right, so we've got our brand new Glow Baxter Stockman outside of the packaging, and this is the first one of these figures from Super7 I'm taking a look at. So let me bring in the tape measure here. So this is a line that is in the 7-inch scale, but it is worth noting that Baxter has a very squat pose. This is the way you're supposed to pose his legs. So that only makes him about 5.5 inches up to his head. The wings themselves go almost all the way up to a full 7 inches tall. But you'll notice like he's still a big chunky guy. And in the packaging, his legs are straight like this. So you're going to pull him out of the box. He's going to have these straight legs. So you can pose him like this. But, I mean, if you look at the vintage figure for reference, you'll know that his legs are supposed to be bent like this, which is why he's got these points of articulation here at his ankles and his knees, allowing for these very squat-legged poses, and he stands really good in that squat-legged pose. When I first pulled him out of the box, I kind of felt like those knees were a little weak, like they just felt like they should be a little bit tighter. I don't know if they're that way because they're kind of designed to be more in the squat pose. I will say, like, when I've got him in this squat pose here, I don't have too many problems balancing him. Obviously, he's a little top-heavy. He's got these very skinny legs. He's got this big chunky upper body. He's got these wings and these arms coming off of his back. But for the most part, he seems totally fine. You just got to find the right position there. Sometimes with the arms kind of straight out, they're gonna make him topple over. But yeah, I mean, look at that. And there he goes. So yeah, you definitely want to find the right way to stand him. That's something you want to watch out for. Balancing this guy can be a little tricky, but I have definitely dealt with worse as far as action figures go. He's actually standing pretty good like that. So there you go. As you might have already noticed, but maybe not, Super7's Ninja Turtles line is totally based on the designs of the original Playmates Toys action figures from the very first Ninja Turtles toy line. So this Baxter Stockman is not necessarily inspired by the original cartoon series. He's inspired by that original toy, and we'll definitely see that when we get into comparison time. Now, this is that San Diego Comic-Con exclusive version, so he is glow-in-the-dark, so there's a lot of different stuff going on here than the regular Baxter in Series 1, but I'm going to be taking a look at that one in just a few days, so you guys can stay tuned for that. We'll compare them side by side. I wanted to start with this because I got this one first, and I think a lot of people got this one first. This just happened to ship out right before everybody's Series 1 orders, so this ended up being a lot of people's first figure for this line. The deco on this guy is amazing. So he is made of this blue glow-in-the-dark plastic. And Brian Flynn said in the interview I did with him at San Diego that they chose the blue glow-in-the-dark because that's the color he glowed when he was mutating in the cartoon series. So they did draw some inspiration for the animated series for this particular variant. I love glow-in-the-dark toys, so I'm all about it. I love the metallic pearlized white that they used for the lab coat. I mean, that shiny paint, the glow-in-the-dark plastic. You got this metallic silver around the eyes. Man, this is just seriously a Pixel Dan figure. This thing screams me. I absolutely love it. But looking at the details is really, really amazing. Of course, these figures were sculpted by Four Horsemen Toy Design. I've been collecting figures from those guys for years because they did all of the Masters of the Universe Classics figures I love, which is Masters of the Universe, one of my all-time favorite toy lines. Now they're doing Ninja Turtles, which is my other all-time favorite toy line. So it is pretty cool stuff. This version of Baxter's got like this bluish purple hair. We got the wings. I love all the little details that come straight off the vintage toy. Like you got the little bow tie. You've got the little medical syringe kind of sticking through his torn pocket. You've got the little wedding ring on his finger. That's a detail you may not even realize was on the vintage toy because it was unpainted. But there it is on the new figure and it's painted silver. I think that's awesome. But look, they even painted the fingernails. You've got all the little blue veins running through the fly parts of the figure. You got like these silver spikes sticking off of the extra appendages coming off of his back. I love him. I think he is a really, really nice design. And the figure is very heavy and very chunky. These are very chunky action figures. Again, mimicking that vintage toy style. So let's go and talk about the articulation so you guys know what to expect with these figures. So first of all, these wings are on these ball hinge joints here. So you can see they can roll around. You can move them up and down. One thing I will say, on the vintage toy, the wings kind of stuck more like outwards this direction, and I can't really seem to get these wings in that pose. Like, this is as close as I can get them, but they're pointing more downwards rather than up. I don't know, I'm being a little nitpicky. Like, if I turn the wings upside down, I can kind of, I don't know. It's almost like I'm fighting with them a little bit. They don't pose quite the way I want them to. So you kind of have to stick them where they're almost like facing down. And maybe that's a little more accurate. Like, I guess that's the way a fly's wings would sit. I don't know. You'll see more what I'm talking about when I compare this to the vintage figure. So the arms on his back have those nice like ball-like hinges there. So like they can go outwards, forwards, backwards. They can swivel all the way around. You do have bends at those elbows there. Then the wrists can swivel and they got the hinges so they can bend as well. You got those big old clawed hands there, which is very, very cool. So a lot of articulation on those arms that we're definitely not used to on the vintage toy. Then you got those same ball-like hinges there at the shoulders of his regular arms. So they can go up about halfway up his body there. They can move forwards and backwards. You got swivels at the elbow. You got a single joint at the elbow, swivels at the wrist, hinges at the wrist. There is nothing in the torso. This is all a solid sculpt here. We do have the waist swivel. It does look like this is a pliable material, like the lab coat that he's wearing is pliable, but yeah, there doesn't look like there's a torso or an ab crunch or anything like that. We've got the ball-like joints at the thighs, so the legs can go outwards. They can roll all the way around. Again, Baxter's legs are a little bit different because he's got these bent fly-type legs. So you got those single joints at the knee, but they also swivel at the knee. Again, these are a bit loose. I wish these were tighter than this. And then you got the nice joints at the ankles so that they can rock side to side as well as move up and down. They got that really good hinge there, good motion so that you can bend them backwards so you can get them in that nice squat pose. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with the articulation here. It is pretty much right in line with what I expected based off of the other Ultimates figures, based off Masters of the Universe Classics. It basically fits right in with all those other figures I've been collecting. So exactly what I was expecting here. So Baxter comes with a whole bunch of accessories. First of all, he's got a bunch of interchangeable hands. So let me bring all of those in here. So the figure comes out of the package with these gripping hands, these kind of more loosely gripping hands. He also comes with a second pair of gripping hands that have a tighter grip. This is going to be for his fly swatter accessory, while these are for the gun accessory we're going to look at. He's got a pair of open hands. and he's got a pair of closed fists. So you've got lots of options for switching the hands. These pull right out of the wrist. They're on a peg joint there. You can plug the new one in place. Works very, very easily. It actually is a really nice sturdy grip in there as well. You can see we can still swivel it. It's got the same hinge joints. So you can mix and match those parts depending on how you want to pose them or depending on what accessory you want the figure to hold on to. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the tighter grip there just because I want to start showing you guys the accessories. So here's something fun. All of these figures from Super7 and the Turtles line are going to come with two forms of accessories. You're going to have the painted accessories, like these, but you're also going to get an unpainted sprue with the accessories, which is an homage to the vintage toy line. So if you really wanted to, you could cut these off of the sprues here. You'd have your little kind of weapons rack thing. This doesn't stand at all. It might just be because it's top heavy because of this. But so you can see these are just cast in a solid glow-in-the-dark blue plastic. The regular one will come with probably purple weapons, just like the vintage toy. So yeah, you could cut those off the sprue if you want the unpainted ones, but he's also got fully painted ones that don't have to be taken off of a sprue. So you've got options, and I think that's pretty cool. So first of all, we got the cool little turtle retro mutagen fly swatter thing. This comes straight out of the vintage toy line. That's what that tighter gripping hand is for. He actually gets a really nice tight grip on it. I love it. They painted the little baby turtle that stuck to it, which is fantastic. I think that is awesome. Again, the majority of it is painted or molded in that glow-in-the-dark blue plastic. So he also comes with this little doodad. Now, if you remember the vintage toy, he had this with that too. You can plug the swatter onto it, and then it sat over his wrist. But this new version is way too small, and it's very, very stiff. There's no give to it. This does not clip over the figure's wrist. I can't figure out where it clips. I don't know why you would want it on the wing. It doesn't stay on there very good. But then I figured something else out. So hang on just a second because I want to bring in this little thing. So he comes with this extra weapon that the vintage toy didn't. In fact, this is straight out of the animated series. So I guess they are taking some inspiration from the original cartoon. So you got his little, it's like his retro mutagen ray gun, I guess. So you got that, and that goes into that more open gripping hand. Again, he gets a very, very tight grip on it. So it's really cool that we've got that option. But this is what I figured out. And I don't even know if this is meant to do this, but this little thing that's supposed to go over his wrist is perfect size to clip over the front of the gun. It clips on there perfect. And now you've got his little blaster, which also has the fly swatter on it. So maybe that's what was intended. I don't know, but it totally works. And then the last accessory that he comes with, a full-blown mouser. Yeah, he's got a full mouser. Of course, Baxter Stockman and mousers do kind of go hand in hand. This is awesome. It's going to come with the standard Baxter as well and more of a standard mouser color, but this one is molded in that same glow-in-the-dark blue plastic, but he's got the red foot logo painted on the top. He's got the red eye there. The mouth opens and closes, and the joints are real tight on this guy. So you can open and close the mouth, and then the legs move forwards and backwards. We don't get any other bends in the legs, so they can move forwards and backwards, but really, there's only one way you can stand him with his feet flat-footed. But getting mousers with this guy is really, really cool. It's going to be one of those things, I think people are going to want to army build these, so I hope we get more options for mousers in the future. But I love it. I love that we got a mouser right out the gate, and that he comes packaged with Baxter. That's so cool. All right, guys, it's comparison time. So I kept talking about that vintage Baxter Stockman action figure. So here they are standing side by side. Again, you have to ignore the colors here since this is the glow-in-the-dark version, but you can see the details. You can see how they're taken straight off of the vintage toy. And you see when I was talking about the wings? The vintage wings can stand upwards and they're a little more flat, and I can't really get that pose with the new one, and that's a bit of a bummer. But man, you can really see where the inspiration was drawn for this new figure. It is really awesome. And look, here's that wedding ring right there on the vintage figure. That's what I was talking about. So you can see it compared with the painted one on the new figure. And hey, since this is my first video with the new Super7 figures and we talked about the scale, here he is scaled alongside some of the other baddies from NECA. just so you can see how he stands alongside them. Height-wise, I think he fits in perfect, but he is bigger and chunkier, so he could totally work if you want to mix and match those lines. And I think that's totally possible. You know, in my eyes, it is not a versus thing. I am so happy that between NECA and Super7 and any other toy company doing collector turtles right now, we have all these different options for all these different styles of turtles. I love the vintage Playmates toy line, and I think it's really cool getting these updated sculpts by the Four Horsemen of those original toys that I grew up with, but I also love my NECAs, so I'm so happy that we've got all these different options here. I think this Baxter Stockman is a really fun figure. First of all, this is a fantastic exclusive, and he was easy to buy. I mean, he was in stock all day long on Super7's website the day he went up. It was easy to order. He was one of the few San Diego Comic-Con exclusives that was easy to get on and order, so that was really, really nice. I love the metallic paint. I love the blue glow-in-the-dark plastic. He glows so bright, guys. You get him in the dark light, him and the mouse are both, and that glow plastic looks so, so good. I think it is fantastic. But this is a really great kind of appetizer for the line that I'm getting ready to tear into, because I've got Series 1, so I'm going to be working on reviews of those next. I guess my only gripes with this guy, that the knees, I feel like they should be a little bit stiffer, but again, he seems to be balancing fine, so there's not too many issues there. I'm a little nitpicky with the wings, but otherwise, this is a really fun figure. I love the glow-in-the-dark effect, and I'm really excited to check out the standard version of this figure. So like I said, this one was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive that was sold through their website during the Comic-Con at Home stuff that Super7 was doing. At this point, you're probably going to have to find them for sale on the aftermarket, so happy hunting, my friends. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave me a comment down below, let me know what you guys think of this, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time.